For our moderator, Ms. Chow, and our fellow audience, the topic for our today's debate is: does transparency truly increase market efficiency and reduce market distortion? Over here we have the panels of proposers, and over there we have the panels of opposers. But to begin with, the debate will begin with the argument of proposers. First, the effects of increasing transparency can be found in many various pictures, such as in Nuri and Katibi, as well as Georgieva, Trzaskowski, and Konstantinovsky. One of it would be the decrease in cost of capital. Firstly, the high cost of capital is attributable to the information asymmetry between the management and stakeholders that arise from the lack of transparency. According to Forsberg and Oxenham 2014, the situation will give rise to an adverse selection problem in which uninformed investors are afraid of trading against those with private information, reducing their willingness to trade and cause illiquidity and financial market incompleteness. Thus, firms would, to attract capital flows, the firms would have to issue equity and debt at a discount, which would increase their cost of capital. This signifies that an increase in transparency could actually reduce cost of capital, hence increasing market efficiency, which would place funds without much restrictions. Well, this is also reflected in the findings of Chen et al. 2003 and Bath et al. 2014, where they have found a negative correlation between the corporate transparency and cost of capital.
It's indeed beneficial, as you mentioned, but can it this outweigh the cost of disclosure? Because according to Buchanan in 2016, transparency is not just about the preparation, the certification and dissemination of financial information. In the fifth principle of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance, 12, it states that the board should ensure financial statements are a reliable information, reliable financial source of financial information. And with that being said, companies will not only required to incur opportunity and direct costs, they are required to incur compliance costs as well, such as the review of audit fees, the fees on non-auditable, as well as the establishment of policies to uphold the independence of external auditors. And thus, Farbeck in 2011 stated that excessive transparency may not always be a good thing, because this may be backfire on the smaller companies due to the unequal distribution of costs, as the costing of compliance is a one-size-fits-all approach, and these smaller companies tend to lack of economies of scale to comply with it.
There's a saying that when everything comes to a price, and you pay, you get for it. How can you reap the benefits of transparency without incurring any cost? According to Benjamin Fund, empirical experience in this country with large and active equity market shows that disclosure can be a powerful tool that influence the behaviors of the company and protecting the investors. Being transparent in matters of corporate governance, an individual firm disclosure may have externality that benefits to other firms in other industries by revealing their relevant information such as customer trends, best operating practices, and governance arrangements. This information can be useful for other firms in their decision making. Firm disclosures of operating performance and governance arrangement provide useful benchmark to the investor to evaluate other firm managerial efficiency or potential agency conflict. While these incremental contributions of firm disclosure is likely to be small, this information transfer could carry substantial benefit to the market or the economy as a whole.
I disagree with your point of view, as too much of disclosure transparency will negatively impact cooperation, whether it is accessibility by capital market participants such as competitors and tax authorities. Disclosure may be beneficial but also provides for collateral damage that stems from its indirect costs, including proprietary costs. Proprietary costs include relegation of trade secret, disclosure of profitable customers and markets, or the exposure of operating weakness to the competitors, regulators, and investors. According to Felton, detailed information about the profitability of particular business segments can be operating margin and investment in different lines of business. This will cause other parties like competitors, regulators, and tax authorities to take the advantage of the public information to dampen firms' disclosure incentives. Incurring propriety costs will influence the behavior of manager to not fully disclose the matters that might affect their trade secret. As long as proprietary costs exist, a full disclosure might not be possible because companies would hold back information to stay ahead in the competition.
Transparency will help capital markets be more efficient. That is because that's what accounting standards do. From the perspective of a portfolio manager in investing in an emerging market, he has claimed that better quality accounting standards signal a sound infrastructure for the country's financial system and introduce transparency in the financial reporting of the private sector, according to Vishwana and Kaufman. Investors will then be better at assessing the risk they face and be able to make better predictions. In conclusion, transparency decreases the cost of capital. High cost of capital occurs when there is a lack of transparency due to information asymmetry between stockholders and management. Disclosure is a very powerful tool for influencing the behavior of companies, and it protects investors. And lastly, investors will be better at assessing the risk they make and also the decisions they make. Thank you.
I'm opposed to this one point of view, as disclosing information doesn't mean disclosing true information. As experience of the last decade have shown, fraud remains a threat that hangs over investor as a whole. It is possible that information provided by the firm to the investor is irrelevant and does not truly reflect the financial health of the firm. According to Fairbright 2011, accountant often manipulates the account in order to reveal the most favorable balance sheet by omitting a lot of unfavorable data, smoothing up the balance sheet, especially when the firm is not performing well. The idea of doing that is to smooth up the result, preventing any unexpected price volatility on the company stock. Excessive transparency may also drown the receiver with a lot of irrelevant data, causing information overload that would distort the judgment on their markets. In conclusion, simply removing one flaw without addressing the other's issue won't necessarily improve the system as a whole. Again, we as the opposing team emphasize that the cost derived from improving transparency would not necessarily increase the market efficiency and reduce market distortion. Thank you.
I have a question. You just mentioned that small companies, they do not have enough economies of scale to actually adapt the international standards to be transparent. My question is there not any other ways for small companies other than adopting the international standards to disclose their information and be transparent?
Regulators should come up with a criteria for different sizes of company and industry to comply with instead of the one-size approach.
Different criteria, or
It's like
the cost should be different, because criteria cannot be changed. It should be equal for all the companies regardless of the size, right? It's just that when big companies adopt, your main concern is the cost, that small companies cannot bear the cost of adapting it. So why should we change the criteria instead of changing the compliance
lot more things disclosed. And small companies are obviously in the same level, but their share capital and those with the big companies not really match. As I had said earlier, the cost might be high for smaller companies as they don't have enough economies of scale, which means that their profitability might be low. So regulators will actually come up with a requirement where share capital of maybe 2 million above would have to comply with these type of standards, and those with smaller share capital should comply with these type of standards.
Yeah, but my question is, if not complying with standards, what other ways small companies can be transparent?
What are the ways?
I think if the statements are well audited, everything should be well and transparent. The necessary information and data is well shown right there.
Alright. Don't you think media is one way you can be transparent, especially for smaller companies? Social media and the internet is one of the ways that is not even expensive, and a lot of the companies are using their sustainability reports and activities to be published on their websites, their annual reports, newspapers, articles. Don't you think that's one of the ways they can use to be transparent?
They have falsified through this method.
Yes, assess a grade on how good are they and what they have done. But is there any external assurance?
Is there any external assurance for your IFRS? Who is the regulators that assures that you are actually complying with the IFRS?
Is it the NASB? Malaysia Accounting Board?
Actually, the Malaysian Accounting Standard Boards SAP and go through all, even though MSME come up with Malaysian financial MFRS, which is equivalent to IFRS, all the companies account have to go through audited before it is being published. So it is a way of determining whether the account is being followed according to IFRS standards.
Thank you.
Could you elaborate on how transparency could reduce cost of capital? Cost.
Well, as I mentioned before, investors that do not possess any private information on insider tradings, they are afraid of trading with those with insider information. This will actually not encourage them to trade. Yeah, but actually by increasing the transparency, right, everyone has the same information. Prices rise, everyone knows. Prices drop, everyone knows. And the information that reflects them all, everyone knows. Yeah, and that's how actually. Okay.
Why do firms discount equity and debt to attract customers? To attract investors?
Come again?
Why do firms discount their equity and debt to attract investors?
Well, actually by discounting their equity and debt, they actually provide a higher return on investment. Let's say you may assume that this investment is riskier, and of course you would expect a higher return. And also actually because the lack of transparency does not promote information asymmetry. Okay, actually, in some, this will actually be used to attract investors and to invest in their company, in which they will provide a higher return on investment, fulfill their requirements in their investment undertakings. So, in order to attract them, they provide a higher return on investment. Does this answer your question?
So you mentioned about unequal distribution of cost, right? Can you further elaborate on that?
Like what I mentioned earlier, this one-size-fits-all approach, right? Basically, companies of all sizes have to comply with it. So, smaller companies, regardless they have high turnover, low turnover, they have high profitability or not, they still have to incur this cost. And when these small companies, when they have low liquidity, they tend to face liquidation issues if they can't submit the cost.
So, is corporate risk reporting essential for transparency? Is corporate risk reporting essential for transparency?
Essential, but it's just part of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright, now what is therefore transparency on the whole debt? If you say corporate risk is just one part of it.
Because when it comes to corporate risk reporting, maybe the focus area will be on risk or risk management. There is still as corporate sustainability reporting, there is still as other reporting to support.
Okay, besides corporate risk, sustainability, what else? Financial statements. Anything other than that?
Chairman statement,
Come again?
chairman statement, annual report.
That's all.
Audit report?
Audit report,
Non-financial disclosure.
financial,
Non-financial.
non-financial disclosure. Right, so all this, right, is there any regulatory body therefore? Any regulations that comes for all this? Anybody to oversee the inclusion of all this?
There is no one single body that regulates all of the.
Yeah, that's why I said what are the bodies, different regulatory bodies that comes in play?
Busan Malaysia,
One,
under the distinct requirements.
and anything else?
One of it is Busan Malaysia, under the distinct requirements. Another would be the BNM, Central Bank of Malaysia, which oversee the entire financial system of Malaysia, and also Security Commission, which company have to comply in order to be listed on the stock market.